You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Real World After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Real World After Show.
Yes, yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for the Real World, Season 27, Episode 8. Hurts so good. Woo! Very interesting episode we had here. Unfortunately, Adam is not with us. Can we all just have a quick moment of silence? All right, we're back.
Lame-o.
I am DJ Jesse Janedy here in studio with my co-host, the lovely Nicolette Gaona.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
And I'm super, super excited because not only do we have one Real Worlder, but we have two new Real Worlders here on the show. We have the one, the only, the star of, well, my favorite star of the show season, Marie.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome.
Got it in the building.
And then from season 21, New York's Brooklyn Real World,
holding it down,
we got Miss Devyn. Now, you guys are both from New York.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm not from New York, but I live there now.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Kansas City.
Kansas City. All right.
Yeah.
And super excited as well. We have our favorite phone guest, Steve the Steamer, on the line. What up, Steamer?
Not much. How you guys doing?
So serious. How you guys doing? We're doing good, Steamer. What did you think of the episode tonight?
Not overly a big fan of it. It's just kind of blah.
Blah? You didn't think it was very... I think we have a lot of topics to talk about tonight.
We definitely do.
Let's jump into the first topic. Since we have you in studio, Marie, so one thing we've been saying about this season is that it kind of started off really slow. And it started off kind of pairing everybody up, except poor Brandon, who seemed very affected, but actually kind of worked out for him in the long run. So obviously you're matched up with Robb. Kind of tell us about the experience. You went to his house, correct?
Yes.
And what was that like? You walk in here, cast member, you guys find out you have the same tattoo. Awkward.
Yes.
So crazy.
Did you tell MTV that, and maybe that's why they paired you guys up, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of my, like, go-to things to tell them. I honestly thought that I was going to go in the Real World and, like, wait and, like, have, like, the big reveal. Because usually when I show people, they're like, you're something else, you know? And then to go to his house and he have the same one, I was like, off the bat, someone stole my thunder right away.
That's what you would be thinking.
so
Not
good.
like, oh, we're meant to be. You'd
No,
be thinking
not
someone
at
stole
all.
my thunder.
Not at all.
That is so funny. 'Cause any other girl would be
We'll be
like,
like, oh my God, it's a sign. And
Right.
she's like, you're an asshole. You stole my idea.
I was really
Mind you,
upset.
Rob was probably like, oh my God, this is it. She's here. MTV has delivered her. No, I'm just kidding.
Doubtful. But yeah, so then I went on to curse in front of his little sister. That was good.
Quality.
Great TV moment.
My mom was really happy with that. She was like, you know how to make a first impression. I was like, yeah. Yeah, and then we went to the island. And St. Thomas is a lot different than what everyone thinks. There really wasn't much to do. So you see us all paired off, but that's really what we had to do. Like, that's all we had to do. And it's a tourism-based island or whatever, so when there's no boats coming through, everything is shut down.
Now, how often were the boats actually, did you guys always have the option to leave during the day, or did the boat come maybe like every hour, or?
We always had the option to leave, but whether or not the boats were around or working for that matter was another story. Like if Trey was out and he needed the boat, they'd go pick him up, and I'd have to wait a half an hour to go.
So there was only one boat for you guys.
There was 2 boats, but one for production mostly. So yeah, it was really. I don't think they'll ever do that again. I'm pretty sure that MTV and Beauty and Murray are over that. But
Well, and the thing that I always bring up, especially for the girls. I mean, here you are. I mean, Devyn, you lucked out in New York. But
We were
going
in Brooklyn,
out,
Red
getting
Hook.
dressed.
but I mean, going out and getting dressed. Here you are, right? You're sitting in the house all day, and you're like, "Yeah, let's get our makeup on, put heels on," and then it starts raining. You have to walk through the mud, get on a boat in a poncho, get to the To me, that would make me want to just get drunk at home.
Yeah, tell me about it. Hello.
Honestly, how many times did that really stop you guys from going out?
I mean, that stopped us from going out. Then St. Thomas is very expensive,
Okay.
you know, and there's really not that much to do. I feel like a lot of other seasons, like I know San Diego, when they went out, sometimes they would get free bottles and stuff. We never got any of
Really?
that.
Yeah, we got a lot of perks. Not only they were talking about, because we were wondering why they were complaining so much about money. We thought they were just being like a pain in the ass. But like we got gift certificates for food for the grocery store, $150 per person every single week. So we didn't really have to pay for food or like.
And you guys
anything.
had to pay for food.
We didn't get anything. Like usually people get Subway cards. Like that's one of the
We got
go-to
those
things.
too.
We didn't get any of that because
Did they stock the fridges at the house? Or?
No.
Really?
They started when we first got there, and then there was a couple of things that they kept like replenishing, which was like peanut butter. That's why we had an excess of it, and mac and cheese, and that's it. Like I never ever want to see mac and cheese ever again.
What
I
about
lived
liquor?
on it.
That was you had to purchase that as well.
Yes.
They never give you liquor.
They never give you liquor.
And groceries in St. Thomas, like a gallon of milk will run you about $7 because everything has to be imported.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
so,
intense.
You know, a lot of times we would get paid on Thursday and me and Rob would be broke by Saturday.
I can't.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that though.
Like, what are you going to do?
So
But-
is that where we're getting most of the clips from your Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I had money, yes.
All right, so you guys are paired up. You guys get to the island. Now, here's my question, and this is for both of you guys. You guys go into this. Obviously, I understand, you know, Trey called in. I understand you're in close quarters, and it's kind of like you see the same person every day. It's like, well, should I hook up with them? Should I not hook up with them? You know, we're here right now. F it, you know, live once.
Yellow.
Where was the yellow? Where was the connection for you and Rob? Like getting started with it, because the way MTV painted it was like we kind of felt like, oh, it's going down this road from the moment you guys met each other.
Yeah.
So for you, where in your experience, where did it really like say?
You know, it really began as just a friendship. We were the only ones that liked to drink. We were the only ones that like to do that kind of stuff, you know, which is just being fun, I guess, you know. So that's kind of how it happened. And not having like locals that you'd want to hang out with, be around, you kind of really get forced like to hang out with each other that much more. So
Right. And did he ever paint a different picture? Because I know the Las Vegas season with Leroy and Naomi kind of painted it like, yeah, we can be hookup buddies. Like, I'm down with that. Like, do what you want to do. And then all of a sudden it started turning and she was getting a little clingy. Was that kind of with you guys? Because, I mean, to me, you kind of stated who you are at the beginning. Like, I like to do this. I'm going to do this. A, B, C. Was Rob a little more... Yeah, because to me, I'm sorry, Rob, but you're kind of a little bitch in this episode, in the sense of, you know, you're laying it out, saying what your feelings are, and here's Rob going, obviously burning himself the night before, but then still saying to you, no, you didn't do anything last night, really? Because that's not what I'm reading on your arm. Right. So was there any, like, did you think he was something different? And that's why maybe you gave in a little more, and then you started to see, oh shit.
it's not that I ever thought there was something different. To me, when you're talking to a guy, even just with your cell phone,
Right.
he should text you first. If you're like in talking about a relationship, he should be the first one to be like, so let's be in a relationship.
Right.
And like he was beating around the bush with that whole subject. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, yes, we're in a relationship.
But were you
when-
looking for one? Like, at any point with him?
Eventually, yes, because we became so close. But in the beginning, it was just kind of like la-di-da, like we're doing whatever. You have a chick back home. I was talking to someone too.
Right.
But like that didn't really matter. And then we started to really like fall in love with each other, and things got weird, I guess. Like I didn't realize
Things got real in the real world.
really, you know, like I saw this episode tonight for the first time. I obviously saw him burning himself and punching himself, and I never physically saw that stuff when I was there. You know, it'd be like he'd come in, and I guess you don't really understand how serious it is. You know, and I feel like I look very insensitive at the end, but I'm never really around people that punch themselves in the face or burn themselves. I don't really understand the seriousness of it.
Well, and so, I mean, let's get into that. I mean, here's Robb. You guys go out to the bar, and I believe his name is Mike, who's the bar owner, who's different from Max, right? So I'm assuming we're going to get a Max storyline thrown in there, or does that get kind of thrown out? But here was Mike. Now, you like your sugar daddies from what we've seen, or from what MTV's editing you as.
Listen, who doesn't like money?
I mean, she's looking at this is what, right. We're on the same page with this.
Let's be honest. If you have two guys that look exactly alike, do exactly the same thing, if somebody had more money,
it's going to be more appealing.
Yes, it's not. I'm not a
Well, it's not a bad thing.
digger.
It's the age-old thing, okay? If a guy had two girls that didn't look exactly alike and one's more attractive, who's he gonna go for? The more attractive one. Well, women, we naturally want like the biggest guy who can knock someone over the head and drag back food to the house. Well, in modern day times, that means the one who cannot take us to McDonald's, but maybe, you know, I don't know, take us to Ruth's Chris or something. I'm just saying.
Listen, I don't make my decisions on who I'm with based on money.
Right.
It was really just a joke between me and Toya because it's just funny. Like, you find stupid all right, whatever. I do like money. Kill me. Shoot me. I like the finer things in life. Whatever. But
Nothing wrong with that.
But
I love it.
basically,
She's like, honey, I
over here
understand.
but let's put out this, at the end of the day, if you met someone wasn't like that, it's not all about money.
Right, no, not
But
at
that was
all,
it more
right.
appealing. Understand, we're not coming. That was just a
Fine,
joke.
okay. She was
Calm
probably
down.
broke that night.
Simmer down. Right, she was like, you know what?
don't we all do that now?
I like it. She's here.
Like, I'm with you guys.
Come sit on this side. Yes.
So that must have been Monday when you met him. So it was a little more appealing.
Right.
But so okay, here we are with Mike. Mike was being very flirtatious with you, and Robb was kind of pulling a Trey. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that. Jealousy was coming in, and that night, this is where you kind of look like a little bitch, Robb. That night, he was saying Robb was all over him. Marie was all over him. Marie, look what she's doing. Are we this? Are we that? Goes back home, talks to Brandon, dude, this is why I said there are 3 people in the house I like, and Brandon is one of them.
I really like him.
We thought you were going this way, but you totally turned the ship, and
Right.
I love where you're going. So applause to Brandon for that. But Brandon was kind of there for Robb, and I thought it was interesting he didn't know how to deal with Robb burning himself. Because from the beginning, we kind of felt like, especially Brandon even talking about cutting himself. Robb obviously has some issues where when he gets drunk, he needs to feel pain. And then the next day, rather than confronting you, now was this another issue that you guys had, confronting? Obviously, you had no issue bringing up your feelings.
Yeah.
But I mean, watching it tonight and seeing Robb the night before having that conversation with you, blaming it on you, but then the next day when you're like, oh, did I act stupid?
Yeah.
He was like, no, it wasn't you, baby.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make you feel watching it now?
honestly, like, it's not really that much of a surprise because I feel like every time I would ask him if he was okay or if something was wrong, it was always like, I'm okay. He was always okay. And when you're always okay, you're not
Really
always okay. You know?
And you knew him, so.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like I could have helped him more if he had opened up to me more and let me know what was going on, but I honestly had no idea.
Like saying, oh, I'm hurting inside. Like, I want us to be together. I don't want to be seen
Yeah.
doing all these things, when really he was getting away from the topic.
Now, the next issue was he started punching himself in the face, which was the... Okay, this is going to sound really bad. We're going to have you do that voiceover at the end of this show. But he's sitting in a chair, so serious, cue the dramatic music, and starts slamming himself in the face. When did you see the after effects of that?
I didn't see that until probably like the next day.
When you guys were talking or earlier in the day? And what was your reaction to it?
I mean, your reaction to anyone you walk in, they have a black eye. You're like, what the hell happened? Like, what are you doing? You know? And then his thing is, because, like, you know what? I also had to side with him because there were plenty of nights there that I did stupid shit and I didn't remember because I was drunk, you know? And that's never obviously an excuse for anything, but especially when I'm on that kind of level with him when he's like, I was just really drunk, like, whatever. I'm just like, all right, you know, some people are aggressive, you know? I didn't really understand that maybe it was something deeper than that.
Now, when it comes down to, do you think where do you think that deepness comes from with Robb? I mean, does it come from, with Brandon, we see it's obviously something that comes from childhood, and we're about to get into Laura and Trey, and to me, you know, Laura's issue comes from her childhood. I mean, with Robb, do you think it is something from that, or stems
100%.
from, I mean, his attachment for women, because he met, what was the girl's name that he was talking to?
Amy or something?
Amy. Was it Amy?
Emily.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit there and say before you come on the show, oh, I met the girl that changed my world 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden meets you, she changed my world. Like, I mean,
You know,
damn, Devyn, if you want to change someone's world, feel better about yourself. Nicolette, you guys want to feel better
I mean,
about
I've
yourself.
done it a
Start
couple
talking around.
times, but I mean, you don't keep talking to them afterwards when it happens so quickly. Like,
It gets a little bit of the cray-cray.
right. But it was probably the Hakuna Matata tattoo. Though, in his
come
defense.
on.
What had to have done it.
sometimes
The icing on the
people,
cake.
sometimes people fall hard and fall fast. you
Agreed.
know?
Which, and I'm not knocking anyone that does that, because I understand
Right.
that happens. I understand connections happen.
It happens.
But, like, part of me also said, let's segue into...
I think I just, like
Go
you
ahead.
said, it's definitely something deeper there. And I don't feel comfortable me saying what it is because that's his business, you
Right.
know?
So, Robb, you're more than welcome to come on AfterBuzz TV, and we'll Dr. Fill it up. All right, let's segue into Trey and Laura.
Thank you. I'm ready for this one.
Now,
Subject. My favorite subject.
she's like a
Okay.
beast. We always just have to,
I
like,
know,
let
she and
the-
I almost got it, like, we had a moment of different sides
did.
earlier. Like,
All right.
right.
So before we get into that, I just want you to clarify, Marie, I want you to clarify where you stand on this. And we all kind of got it, because every time Trey said something or Laura said something, we all kind of looked at each other like, oh, here it comes. Here. All right. So obviously we know. Now, the first issue that I had with Laura was this adoption paper thing. And we got in trouble, so I do have to put this out. Laura, we understand that the adoption paper thing isn't a way that you get guys.
Wait, didn't someone say that she did?
Said that it did, but it was a misquote.
Oh,
It was a
right.
She
That's
said
right.
she understood how it can look like that. However, girl, like, the first night you meet someone, first of all, why do you have your adoption papers on
With
the
you,
real world?
girl, that needs to be in a file in your file cabinet. Okay, girl, you do not want to be whipping those out just like that. What if they get lost and you really not gonna know nothing? You know what I'm saying? Put that
so
thing
to me,
away.
we,
okay.
now, but we can also say we understand that there are attachment
Can we
issues here
time
from
out?
that.
right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't know she was adopted until 2 months in.
Oh, wait a minute. I cannot with that, because
didn't
Brandon
know.
said that she
2 months
randomly threw
in.
something out. That's crazy.
Hold on here.
She showed Brandon, then she
Yeah.
showed Swift, Trey.
I guess we weren't that close, obviously.
Or maybe she didn't want to like wipe you up.
Exactly.
so she was gonna be like,
I
okay,
don't know.
which one was gonna cling to the adoption?
Yeah, she was just talking one day, and she's like, "Yeah, my adopted mother." I was like, "What? What do you mean? Like, what?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." It's like, okay, it wasn't really that big of a deal to her, I guess. I don't know.
Anyways, and then she just didn't want the girls reading her even deeper than what was already happening. Now, all right, but here we go. You had the biggest issue with this. Which I totally understand, because you're
Rude.
strong. I don't think it was rude, though. I think it was real.
I actually had
on
your
the-
back on that one, like in the car situation, because my girlfriends, I remember I had this horrible relationship, and all of us obviously have been through that one relationship where we have gone
Nuts.
crazy,
Yeah.
okay, and just not listen to anybody. And seriously, your friends would have to yell at you, literally scream at you in your face, cuss you out, do whatever they had to do so you can at least just have it somewhere in your head, because if they're not gonna like whisper it to you, they gotta yell it to you.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been there, and I had no problem with you doing that to her, because someone had to. If it wasn't gonna be you, it had to been somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because I was so hammered, so it didn't really come off how it should have. But yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know, I've been there too. I know how it feels to be played and like all that stuff. And I feel like that's probably a whole nother reason why I'm the way I am with Robb. You know, to be vulnerable on TV is like, I don't like to be vulnerable in real life. Imagine
Right.
putting it out for millions of people. Like, it's
Oh
not
my
really my
gosh.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
and so, I mean, going into it, not even just about the relationship, I feel like when you spoke on it, I felt like you were getting so angry just as a woman in general, like, look what you're doing. Because I don't know if you got this from her, but I mean, I can tell like she must be like this in every relationship she's in.
She is. She's told me that. Like, we've had conversations about it, and like, at first your instinct when you see Laura, like, I think she's a cool girl, but you think Right, you automatically think, like, she's so sweet, she's so innocent, like, not, I don't say she's the victim, but sort of, you know, like, hey, like, maybe we can help, like, you have so much potential, so many great qualities, like, maybe having done this before you, or whatever, like, we can sort of help guide you, but then she clings so hard to, like, oh, no, I do this because it's fun, or, oh, no, I always, like, you know, basically, like, chase guys, and so then the respect level drops real quick, and then it does become frustrating, because you're like, do you get what's going on, like,
are you blind?
Yeah, like, to know better is to do better. Fool, if he's saying he don't want you, he don't want you. And just because your legs are open doesn't change anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the last episode, I was like, he really said enough. Oh. Enough. I like you enough. Enough to sleep with you and then be gone the next day. Girl, I don't, after, if
the next day,
whatever would have told me.
And be gone after 5 minutes.
It wasn't even that. When he started talking about her eyelashes, you done talked about, and then talked about it was, and then you want, nope, done and done. But she kept going back. Like, that's what I don't get. At that point, you deserve whatever's coming. Like, not that you deserve it, but I mean, come on. If your parents told you not to play out in the street in front of cars and you want to keep doing it anyway and you get hit, I'll be at your funeral. But, like, I don't, you know, we're not surprised.
So, girls, does this come from insecurities from the man?
What do you mean?
Like Trey, does it come from Does it come from insecurities from Trey? Is Trey so insecure? I mean, obviously I'm just gonna throw it out there. Trey, go Laura for putting it out there with buying the make him last pills. Obviously Trey can only keep it up for like 3 minutes.
But in Trey's defense, he's keeping up long enough for her to come back, so obviously it's not that bad.
Obviously it ain't about that. It's about something else just up in the head. Like, she's just like sprung.
Now,
like, I know, it's like okay, everybody either hates Trey, like, I was telling Marie this, I still don't get it. Like, everybody hates Trey, and I agree, he looks like the king of douchebaggery, like, a little bit on the show. But, like, nobody gives him, like, Walter gets some sort of, like, credit on the other, his name's Walter. But, oh, you guys didn't know that? It's Walter. Oh, anyway, right, so, right, like,
his name's Walter?
Yeah.
Oh, let's keep Trey, bud.
Yeah, we're going to keep Trey.
Well, I mean,
let's give him 1 point or something, you know.
Let's talk about Trey. Here we are. I mean, you know, the one thing that with Trey, we were kind of harsh on him here at AfterBuzz at the beginning.
Oh, I don't care.
No, well, so listen. So we had him. He talked on the show, and there were some things where I understood. You know, he really took it to heart that we thought that, you know, it was slow and boring at the beginning. Sorry.
I mean, we all did.
Editing
I thought so
from
too.
MTV.
Yeah. How is this?
You know, but then when he started explaining why he wanted to be on The Real World, to me it was just
what
like,
was his reasoning?
You know, it's going to give me a platform to do other businesses. To me, that's not why you go on The Real World. You go on The Real World for the experience, and then afterwards, that is the platform. But you don't. Everything's like preempt with him.
No, like, not to be whatever, and like to anyone that's like gonna go out for The Real World after this, like, it does not give you a platform. It gives you shit. It gives you a lot of haters and a couple of lovers, and that's it. MTV doesn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no platform. I went on the show because I did not want to live with my mother for one more single day. I was gonna rip my hair out, you know. And if there was any way to get out of it, doing The Real World, like,
why not?
Oh yeah, let's go to St. Thomas.
Well, I mean, if he was trying to build a platform for other things, he's not building a platform at all.
Well,
if he's doing anything, he's making sure he ain't getting no job or other career after this bull crap.
Well, tell us about Trey. I mean, you lived in the house with him. Did he think about what he was going to do before? Like, you can see with certain people, it's like,
meditated.
If they're being premeditated, was he really being real? Like, because to me, he walks around the house, and I swear to God, he really honestly is probably watching this back, thinking he's doing, and especially when he's there, walking around the house thinking, oh, I'm gonna look like the good guy if I go back to her and, you know, say this, or I'm not gonna look like the bad guy if I show that I care. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's not real. You're sitting there planning, plotting, and playing mind games. I mean, did you feel that living with him?
To be quite honest with you, I hardly hung out with him or Laura or Swift for that much. Like, I kind of felt that same way, where I felt like they weren't being true to themselves 100%. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be around people like that because that's not who I am, you know, and whatever. So, but like, it's hard for me to come here and say bad things about like everyone, because I'm just like so like far beyond that now, you know, and I don't want to like backtrack with anyone, because I like whatever. It's weird, but I know I like want to be honest and like be like. But,
Girl, that's what we're here for, is to be
right,
honest, because they were all very honest themselves.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck them. Because, sorry, I don't know if I can.
You can say fuck, pussy, whatever
Alright,
the hell you want to say.
fuck everyone, because I heard them all go on fucking shows and talk mad shit, and they need to relax. They were on the show thinking that they were gonna get the best edit, this and that. You're not like just because you're planning what you're gonna say or what you're gonna do or how you're gonna act, it's not gonna affect who you are. If you're like he's on Twitter saying like, you know, everyone's calling me a douchebag this, douchebag that. The editing can't change you that much.
Right.
Right.
If you look like a douchebag and you act like a douchebag, you're probably a douchebag.
Right. I mean, just the way he talks to Laura, just the way his personality is, regardless. I know I can't change my personality. My personality stuck with me. So obviously that is his personality towards a relationship, you know, towards, you know, obviously you see how he is with the other guys, you know, talking crap. You know, obviously that's his personality, to go back, talk to a girl, and then go back and tell his homies, oh, it ain't like that. It's done. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously playing mind games with this girl. You know what I mean?
She's
straight up.
She's
like,
not helping the situation either. I feel like it's,
no,
honestly like 50-50 of them both
It's the
sucking.
same. And I do feel like Laura's kind
I
of
don't
fake.
think it's 50-50 though. You got everyone here.
not?
All right, here's why. Because in this situation, yes, she's freaking cuckoo. I mean, like the bitch is sitting there pulling cotton candy out her ass and like
when
playing
she
with
touched
lizards
his
and
back
shit.
when she was trying to be a monkey or something, trying to pop that stuff.
Like the bitch was
Don't
chasing Komodo.
ever do that. That is just so disgusting. Like,
I love it.
She's
why
chasing
are you doing
Komodo dragons
that?
around the house. Like the girl thinks she's
Oh my
Polly Pocket.
God.
Like,
I
and
can't.
she just, you know what? I don't mean to be rude, mean, or anything like that, and come off any type of way. But girl, it's annoying, and like I can see why Trey gets annoyed. But when it comes to a certain point, obviously, and I'm gonna give Trey the credit because he's always thinking, you know the power you have in this situation. So.
Or maybe you know that's your only situation. Maybe you know that's your only storyline. You have to stick with it.
So that's what I'm trying to get at.
Maybe
At
you
the
know
e-
that you don't go out at night, you don't drink, you don't do shit.
But why didn't he do that? Was he trying to look a good way? I mean, because how did you feel when he threw you guys all under the bus, like at the job? And he was like, oh, well, you know, everyone gets hammered and I'll be the one that's not hungover the next day. LaToya doesn't drink.
Yeah.
And you were trashed the night before, actually.
I was up earlier before everyone. I woke everyone up in that house for work every single day.
Really?
Yes. So if they want to talk about, like, they were the ones that were late, like, getting their last, like, Kellogg's in. Like, I was there. The one that was drunk, like, 2 hours before me. But, so they can't, like, say anything like that, but...
I mean, I feel like you lived up the real world the right way. Out of everybody in that house, I feel like you could leave saying, you know what, I did that real world. You know, I did what I wanted to do. I partied. I drank. I did not care. Yeah, someone fell for me. You know what I'm saying? But I was cute. And I was still going out having a great time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even LaToya, LaToya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even her, like, I feel like she lived it up too. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody in Brandon too. Yeah. So you three, you know, were like the mains who really like just did the damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
You go in the real world, and you're not supposed to know that you're on the real world. You're supposed to be real. You know, had I really considered the cameras at any point, yeah, I'd stop to look in the mirror sometimes, put on some makeup. You know, I was like a hot mess at all times. You know, like my friends are like, honestly, they're like, we love this watching you so much because I'm 110% myself at all times. Unfortunately for me, that sucks a little bit, but it's whatever. And like you said, like I feel like some people were putting on, and that's what I meant by showman in the last one. So
okay.
Before we get into our final little discussion here, I just want to go back onto this Trey situation.
Yeah, because I haven't said
No,
my
we have not. So as a matter of fact,
God.
Devyn, I'm just going to throw it over to you. Where do you stand as far as watching Trey, as far as watching, I mean, even if you want to speak on Laura, just this relationship, the way he reacts? I mean, basically, I want you to speak on this part. What did he say? He's tired of having these talks. I mean, because what would you guys do if you were in this situation? I'm tired of having these talks.
He just,
and
he reminds me
you
of
know,
like a
you need to
horrible
wait.
ex.
And then here he goes making, it's like almost like beating a girl and then being like, girl, I love you. Like,
well, here's the thing. All right. And I know both of them personally. You know, maybe not as well as Marie, but I know them, you know, pretty well. And I'd say I'm cool with them both. And I have told them this then and I will tell them now. I don't think Trey is as big of a douchebag as everyone says that he is. Here's my thing. People will only treat you the way in which you allow. So if you allow someone to treat you like an asshole, well, then it's up to you. Like, that's what you're going to get. Now, on the other hand, Trey does need to man the hell up, because saying I'm tired of having these talks because she's chasing you around, well, shit, then stop talking. Like, walk away, go do something else. Like, you keep inviting it, because even if he does only last 3 minutes, he obviously likes it. I mean, realistically, can we hate on Trey for being smart? Because he kind of is playing it smart. Like, even if we don't like his standpoint, Trey's only obligation is to himself at this point, right?
Agreed.
And so realistically, if he's doing it for a storyline, not saying that he is, but if he is, well, he got one. If he's doing it to get free pussy, not saying he is, well, he got it. You know, if he's doing it because he's bored and he's not going out drinking, well, he's got entertainment too. Just be careful. Don't end up on an episode of Snapped. It happens all the time,
Ooh.
I'm saying. But realistically, Laura knows better. She knows that she knows better. And until she sees a problem with what she's doing, or admits it at least, or wants to change it at least, then who can we fault but her?
So it's still going on right now.
I don't know like all the details, but I know that their relationship was real, and that, you know, when I met them, they were very much still
together.
Whatevering.
Real,
are they together now?
Real
like I don't.
worlding.
Yeah, they were still
I
real
think they're
worlding.
still talking.
And so at that point, yeah, you have to say, like, dude, he done slapped you in the face with another girl's, you know, whatever you want to call it. You
at
know
that
that exists.
at that
Like,
point, does she know anything about Chelsea? Because I know at the
She knew
beginning of
from
the
day
episode,
one.
really,
She knew from day one. Like, Trey literally printed pictures of Chelsea off of our computer and put them next to his bed, and she still slept in that bed with him.
exactly. Thank you.
And you know where I will side with you? When she said, after all that, you're sitting there, he's beating you, making you cry, and then you go, "It's not my choice."
Bitch,
You
it
have
is
the
your
pussy.
choice.
Yes, it
Whose
is.
choice is it? Sophie's? It's your choice. Figure it out. Exactly.
I can't.
Chelsea would choose us otherwise.
Right. And so, I mean, at that point, Chelsea knows, and, you know, Chelsea was talking to other guys. But here's where I want to ask you with this one.
All right.
A couple weeks before this, you know, you guys got Laura drunk. And
We got Laura drunk?
yeah, well, she was drunk with you guys.
Okay.
So, to me, there's a different side of Laura that comes. It's a different person. It's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck him. I don't care. I'm an independent woman.
Her black side comes
Right.
out. Go ahead and say it.
Like, say, what's my name? Like, bitch, you ain't Destiny Child. Calm down. So at the end of that, here she is, just liquid couraged up.
Yeah.
Last week, I think it was, she's talking to this guy. You guys were so excited for her. You give her the number. She gets the number. She goes home. And
Yes. And
who told?
It's cute,
Was it
right?
you that told Trey?
I know. Bad move.
Yeah, girl, that was.
Damn, Marie.
Stop it. I was like cringing. I was like, oh my God.
Why did you do it?
I don't know.
No, you wanted some drama, didn't you?
I was just
He was
so
like, "Ooh."
annoyed. I don't know. I was just in a very obviously bad place at that point, you know? But like, I was like,
Oh,
going
you
out, I
were
was
probably
like,
just over the whole situation, because that was the same night that you
Yes.
got into it.
yeah, I literally came off the boat and they were like talking about me and Robb's relationship, and I was like, fuck her. I'm gonna go
yeah.
tell Trey, I guess. I don't know. But it was a bad move. Don't ever do that to your girlfriends, I guess.
But so the the music as you guys are all out dancing at the club. Laura's getting it on the dance floor.
Oh, she was getting
and
in
Trey
it.
just does his
Not playing.
symbolic
She works.
dum, shoulder walking mad. I'm mad, and I'm gonna find out what's about to happen in here. Mind you, after he just says, you know, I don't care what she does. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Is he doing that for the show? Did you feel like he knew she was going, like, because you haven't been going out, why'd you go out this one night?
I think he's just a very possessive person in general, like with everything. You can hear it when he talks to his girl from home too, you know. He can do whatever he wants, but she talks to one guy and it's like a completely different story.
He wants his cake, and
He wants to eat it too.
yeah.
Right.
And I mean, that's whatever, and she's allowing him to do that, so it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to kind of hate on Trey when she's doing this. But Laura is a completely different person, I believe, than who she was, than who we're seeing, because she's a lot of fun. She like has been tweeting about her drinking, and she was the only one that brought pictures, so like her entire bedroom wall would be pictures, and then be all of her and her friends taking shots and stuff.
Aw.
So I think when it comes down to it, she's really just boy crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, some girls are like that, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, I guess it takes. I don't know.
You just have to pray for him.
We will. We're gonna pray after the show for Laura. But before we get into that next topic, guys, thank you so much. I see you every single week, watching us, leaving comments on YouTube. We really appreciate it, but we need your help. We need this AfterBuzz podcast to be #1. And so you guys can help us out by subscribing to
like
iTunes.
I'm on American Idol, and they're like,
vote for one. No. Go to AfterBuzz TV on iTunes, subscribe, rate, and download, and leave us some comments on there. Just whatever you're typing on YouTube, we appreciate it, but, leave some on the iTunes page. Let's get us to #1. All right. So I want to talk to both of you guys here. Your experiences on the real world. Starting with you, Marie. Why did you? Obviously you went on the real world because of your mother. But was that like literal? I just can't do the same. Where can I go, bitch? You might have been on Bad Girls Club at that point.
Oh my God, stop.
Which I actually would have loved to see you on Bad Girls Club. But anyways,
no,
going on to it.
Get my ass handed to me.
What really made you go sign up for this?
I was, fresh out of school and just looking to figure out what I want to do in life, and I couldn't figure it out. I had no idea, and then I was like, whatever, I'll just go for it. Who actually thinks when they try out for the real world with all these people there that you're gonna get it? It was kind of me and my friend were just wasted one day. It was St. Patrick's Day, actually.
Really?
And we were walking past, and they were having the auditions. So we're like, yeah, let's go in. It wasn't like planned or anything.
Oh, that's so funny.
It kind of just like went from there. I'm just hammered.
And what did you
like? They're like, all right, this girl right here.
They're like drooling on the table. Pick me.
They're like, oh, this girl is perfect. What did you learn from being on the real world? Like walking away from it. How has it changed you?
How has it changed me? Well, I have realized that I am a very sloppy drunk, and it is not attractive, hence why I'm probably single right now, so I'm working on that. And sometimes I need to think before I speak. I think that's like my biggest issue is that I don't understand the people aren't as crazy as, not that I'm crazy, but thick-skinned as myself, When you say things, some people take it very seriously. As I'm learning on Twitter recently, I'm like, wow.
I kind of feel like that's also you coming from New York.
Yeah, totally. So,
and so, within that, and where do you see yourself going with this? After this, what is for you? Do you want to do challenges with MTV? We saw you in a commercial. Does that make you, want to do anything in the entertainment world?
Do you want to be a star?
Yeah, do you
want to
be
a celebrity?
Or what do you want? Do you want to just, that was my experience in life. I really enjoyed it. I cherish it. And, I want to go to, what is it that you went to school for that you want to?
I went to school for politics, so I doubt I'll be working in government anytime soon after this. But
you never know.
You know what? Right now, I'm actually in the midst of deciding that, because if I did want to do challenges and that become my life, which I'm not really sure is for me, then I would have to get a job where I could just take off for a couple of months and go. Or I could be a real adult like I thought I was going to be when I was 24 back in the day and, get a real job and honestly want to be a headhunter. But like I said, I'm not going to get up in a suit every day and then be like, oh, by the way, leaving for the challenge. That's not going to happen.
You guys can watch me, check me out. I'm going to be shit-faced.
Oh, Marie.
And then, here you are now watching yourself, watching everybody's comments. Who are you in contact with? Who are you just like, I'm really good with them as far as your cast?
I am really only in contact with LaToya as of now. We've had a bunch of falling outs in other places, and I'm not excited to go to the reunion whatsoever.
Really, which will be filmed next week with our very own Maria Menounos, so make sure you guys check that out.
Yeah, Maria's in for it.
I'm really excited because this season has really taken a big turn, and I'm so glad that it actually has gone there. How would you think it would have been a little different if Robb's girl did end up coming?
I would have been a crazy bitch. I would have went nuts, and I would have done things that are unacceptable. But she didn't come, but Max does come to the same time.
Girl, you're going to have to call in for that episode.
What was I going to do? Tell him to, delete his ticket? Delete that? I don't know. It was
Didn't Robb say that to old girl?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
It's just funny. All right, so then, another thing I brought up to you earlier was St. Patty's Day. Here you are, Brandon's working on it. I'm not going to...
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patrick's?
That happened?
Yeah, it was really short, thank God.
going into it. And then after this, I want Steamer, I want you to come up and ask Marie some questions because I know you have a lot on your mind as well. St. Patty's Day, Brandon's working on trying not to drink. And he chooses to hang out with you and Robb, who are just like those guys with like the beer goggles on, the green capes, like, yeah, let's get smashed while everyone's like watching the boring parade, which I totally feel you. Yeah. Because here's what we think. We felt like these reality shows go on there and try to make the St. Patty's Day parade look like it was this huge spectacular event, which I'm sure was like whack as hell, and it was probably way more popping wherever you were.
Anything whack on St. Patrick's Day when you're sober, so I don't know, but
right.
It definitely wasn't New York City or anything like that, but
or Boston
or Boston, where Brandon's from.
And how did it make you feel watching it? I mean, they kind of edited it like you guys, because everyone else was caring about Brandon, and they kind of pinned it on you. Like, oh, they're bad role models for Brandon. And you kind of just sat and explained to me that you, Robb, and Brandon were actually the closest in the house.
At that time, me, Brandon, and Robb were like a trio. We did everything together. So it just happened to be St. Patty's Day. And when you don't hang out with a bunch of people, like, you're going to be like, no, like, you're not going to do that. So he came with us, and he didn't drink. So I don't know why everyone's so upset about it, Like, no offense, like, that's his decision, what he wants to do. And I will support him, and I won't throw drinks in his face, and I won't do anything like that. But I'm not going to not have fun on my St. Patrick's Day because you're around. Like, I'm just...
And to me, it actually made him even stronger. I mean, if you can sit on from Boston, because I'm from Boston originally, if you can sit next to people on St. Pat, that's that is like Christmas, Easter for someone from Boston. If you can sit next to two people getting hammered and make it through without having a drink, I think actually that was the best test for him.
Yeah.
To do. So I do give him props, and I give you props for not pressuring him.
Yeah, no,
on doing that.
I wasn't gonna do that, but.
All right, I want to go to you, Devyn. You are on The Real World. What made you want to get involved with, hey, you know what, I'm going to sign up for this show and let the world just see everything about my life?
Right, everything. Actually, I had never wanted to do Real World. I swore I would never do it, but I found
I
ended up doing a lot of things that I said I would never do. Why did I swear? Because I'm like, I want to be, I was a theater performance major, so I'm like, I want to be serious, like a legit, entertainer, and no way, reality. And then my boyfriend at the time was a club promoter. See, I'm not all about money because he had none. And he actually hired Johnny Bananas and Kelly Ann to do our New Year's party. And so I booked them. I was the one who picked them up and sort of like made sure everything was okay. And I remember at the time I didn't really watch the show. And people on the street would see Johnny and just be like, oh my God, dude, like, I love you. And I'm thinking, like, who is this fool? Like, why are people all up in his grill? And then I saw Kelly Ann and she was like making out with people. And I was thinking, okay, Johnny, I get it. Like, he's something about him, whether you like him or not, has like a certain like charisma. Yeah. Like, you get it. And Kelly Ann, I was like, she's cool. But if she can do it, I can do it. I went home a week later and uploaded an online video. 6 months later, I was cast on the show.
How did it change your experience? How did it change your life?
She's laughing at me like I probably shouldn't have said that. How did it change? It did change my life. I left school. I moved to New York, which I'd never wanted to be there.
What made you want to move to New York?
They made me because it was in Real World Brooklyn.
I'm saying because you live there.
Oh, I live there now. Yeah. So afterwards, I ended up living with two people from my season, Scott and Bea. We got an apartment together. Okay. They should have kept the cameras rolling. That was a nightmare. Don't ever do that. If you're ever on a Real World, like, don't move in with people right after. No. And so it changed my life just because I realized I fell in love with the city, and there's such an independence there. Being from Kansas City, like, it's a totally different world. I got my dog on our season, Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn the pup. So it really changed my life. And what I learned afterwards, John Murray, the creator, came to me and said, I was like, hi, John, like, so nice to meet you. And he shook my hand without a smile and was like, you are the most guarded person we've ever had on our show. And I was like, oh, thanks. And it's haunted me for years. And I always wanted to actually do it again because I was like, I would do it so differently. Like, I was so guarded, maybe kind of like Trey, and just not in trying to be something I wasn't, but like having a pageant background. You don't really want to offend people. You don't really want to like do what you think you're not supposed to do, and you're kind of like whatever. And I've just learned that like you can't control editing, and people are gonna say whatever they want, and they're gonna call you a man, which they have, and want to kill you, which they do. So you might as well just live it. So I always said if I did it again, or if I did a challenge, I would just let loose and like be me for real. So
So you would do a challenge if they
I had swore I would never do a challenge again, but I'm known to do things that I swear that I would never do.
I thought you had done a challenge.
No, I was asked to do one right after our season, and I declined.
What made you want to decline? Was it something you were working on?
At the time, I was actually working on getting my own show, and so it was kind of like either or, and then unfortunately that fell through too. But yeah, and I don't like running unless it's for cupcakes. I mean, come on.
Ooh, there you go. Steamer, I want to give the floor to you right now because you've been very opinionated about this season. What do you have? Any questions for Marie about your favorite cast members?
I had two favorite Marie moments this season. The first one was the beer in the suitcase. I was curious why she put it in the suitcase. Like, what was the thought process involved? Like, when she was packing, was it like a last-minute thing, or she had that plan in advance?
I was not packing Heineken's in my suitcase. When I was really drunk getting off the plane to St. Thomas, you heard me say I want to go to the alcohol store. First off, I was bombed. Like, when I tell you how much me and Rob drank on the flight there, like, they were so mad at us because they were like, what? You're not supposed to sit next to each other? Like, we switched our, like, seats and everything.
Oh, really?
Why didn't they want you guys sitting next to each other?
Because then we'd have the cameras. Without the cameras, we were, like, getting bombed and, like, talking, getting to know each other, and they couldn't get any of that on film. So I was bombed then, and I think we were the first people ever on The Real World to stop before we got to the house to get alcohol. And it was just... it was easier to put in my suitcase, so that's where it went.
All right, what was the next one?
That's what you did at home, so that makes much more sense.
What was the second one?
The other thing was when you convinced Brandon that he was the one who put the dead fish in the
oh yes,
in the bathtub. I thought that was pretty genius, and that made me want to see you on the challenge in the future. So good job on that.
Thank you.
Now, did it ever come out afterwards? Because I feel like it's just a washed up moment that they're not going to bring back.
Yeah. Eventually, they heard me over talking with my friend. Listen, the thing about it was, I don't think I could have been any less convincing. I was like, yeah, Laura did it. You know, here I am with this huge smile on.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that they were believing me, I was like, I just got to keep going with this. And then by the end of the day, Brandon's like, I did it. He was like so convinced I did it. I was like, yep, you did it, Brandon.
Oh, he was so cute.
Enjoyed it. It took them about like 2 or 3 weeks though.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Were they all so mad?
They were like laughing about it, I guess. I don't know. I was just hoping that we would get to like this point and like be all like watching at home, like be like, oh, it was you, but no.
Steamer, any other questions about any of the other castmates so we can get Marie's full opinion on it?
I had for her.
No? You settled with Trey and his personality?
Yeah, like I just disagree with everyone on Trey. Like, as I said before, like, he just reminds me of people I went to college with. Like, that whole situation with a girl back home and being wishy-washy. It doesn't make it right what he's doing, but it's like I just seen in the past, so it's just whatever to me. And I just want to get to the point where Chelsea shows up and you see what happens with that.
Oh,
When does she come?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know she comes.
Oh my god, yes.
Me and Toya were like up in the living room with popcorn, just waiting. Literally.
Like, how does that even... I cannot wait, because seriously...
Now, you've been getting some flack on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to everybody out there? Any misconceptions about you, or any real bad comments you just kind of want to just throw out there? Like,
you know what? I feel like after this episode, you know what? I can't control what Robb does to himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, had I known it was as bad as it was, like, maybe I would have done things differently, or like, I just didn't know how to go about dealing with that. I mean, I don't think a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't mean that I didn't have feelings for Robb. I actually have a lot of feelings for Robb. I still have feelings for Robb. But it just, that's not my fault. So you can't put that on me because somebody's a little loose in the head. Like, that's not my fault.
Where do you and Robb stand now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, she can't. We still gotta watch the season to know that. But what I do want to know, actually, before we go, I want to know a little of the tea from you.
The tea.
You guys have all been doing press and going around on all these different stations and doing interviews. Mm-hmm. And you said you heard some people talking some stuff. Is there anyone in particular that you heard someone say something real off-kilter about you, that you lived in the house like, oh, really? That's how you feel? Or?
Well, honestly, I wanted to come here so I could say something to Adam Royer because he had so much to say about our season. So I thought that maybe he'd be a man and show up. Ooh. But I guess that's not
Well,
the
you're
case.
here. You're actually sitting in the seat that Adam sits in. So go ahead. Let us know what you felt about because
it really just comes down to, our situation was completely different than any situation that people have been on in the real world. And unfortunately, like, that was the case. And you can't explain to people why you don't want to go. The St. Thomas is not the safest place in the world, okay?
Right.
Like, we used to hear gunshots off of our island. You know, we had curfews, and there was all this craziness. And I know very well that Bunham and both MTV are kicking themselves for picking that place. Like, there will never be a back to St. Thomas, like, okay? Like, that's done.
That's
but
so crazy, yeah.
everyone has their own situations, and, like, I wish that ours were different because I think that would be a completely different show. But that's with any show, you know? You can't pick that.
All right, so we're going to actually head into our final segment, predictions.
And now,
We don't really know why the creepy music.
That's a little like.
predictions.
Like the lights are going to start like flashing on. There we go. All right, so I mean, basically all we got from last week, I mean, for that last episode, next episode is Swift and Marie. You guys get into another little argument.
Weird.
Now, I mean, you guys get on and off with these arguments. Are you guys cool with each other? Like, or is it just like exactly how you said the other week? Look, we're gonna fight like this. It's just in our personalities.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that understanding still, or?
No, we're actually, Swift is probably one of the people that I really genuinely like now after the show. But during the show, however, we did not get along. And, like, yeah, I said we were going to clash, but eventually that clashing became to, like, full-on, like, war in the house.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, just another one quick question. The night that you and Swift really got into it, how did you feel about Robb actually standing up for you? Did you feel Robb stood up for you? Because to me, as a man, I felt like Robb kind of bitched out right there because I think he was really afraid to get his ass beat by Swift. He was like, no, listen, here's why. Because the cameras were like, Swift was like, yo, dog, you're going to let this girl talk rough to me? Like, this is my house too. And he got up, he walked up behind, and then Robb was like, dude, you need to calm down. And then he didn't actually get up until Swift was real far away. He was like, dude, you need to calm down. So
Well,
to me, that was just...
That could look clever at once, but there were times that...
Where he did.
Yeah, like, they would go into the front yard to, like, fight. I don't know what they're going to show from that, so I can't really tell you, but Robb wasn't the one to walk away.
All right, and then obviously the final prediction is
Nice.
The big fight starts between did Toya hook up with Swift?
Yes.
Now, don't have to say if it happens or not. Do you think they hooked up?
Listen, LaToya is my girl.
Because Swift says yes, it happened.
Swift can say whatever he wants. Anyone could say whatever they want. As long as Toya tells me it didn't happen, it didn't happen.
All right, what
And
do you
I will
think?
stand by my girl.
You think it happened?
I mean, I'm with that girl power, so I don't think she did it.
No. What about you?
Because I would
Devyn?
tell my girlfriend
You think
if
Swift got the
something
nanny?
happened.
I don't think so.
No.
No.
So what?
I just can't imagine. See, that's where I'm so boggled, because if it didn't not happen, how can you be so corny as to, like, make that such a big... We had to have, like, mediation and stuff over this. We had to
Really?
have, like, a therapist come to our house. It was...
I can't. Well,
That
that's
is
because
just, well, maybe he was
I'm,
just
like,
like,
really
he
hoping
wanted
to show
to
that.
say that he hooked up with somebody because we didn't see him hooking up with anybody.
Well, and he also said he was like, the reason I didn't hook up with, the reason why I didn't like her was because I don't hook up with black girls. They're crazy.
Whoa. Whoa.
You heard it here first on AfterBuzz TV.
Whoa.
But anyways,
We kind of are.
I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you, Marie,
Yes,
for
thank you
taking
for
the
having
time
us.
to come in. Anytime you guys are in
You're
town,
so gorgeous
please join
in
us.
person.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you guys leave all those comments on iTunes, subscribe, rate, download. Follow us on AfterBuzz TV, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow me at DJ Jesse J.
You know, you can find me at Nicolette Gaona.
And ladies, where can they find you and follow you guys?
Marie MTV.
And at Devyn Simone, that's Devyn with the Y, Simone with an I.
So until next week, same time, same place. And you're going to have to call in when Adam is here so you can
Yes.
have your little
All
confrontation.
right, I'll have to go look back on your episode so I can take some notes.
There you go.
Take some notes.
So until next week, guys, peace.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.